Well, it's zombie time again, guys. Welcome back to the Z-Man Show, and we're talking Fear the Walking Dead. This is Season 5, Episode 9, called Channel 4. This is the mid-season premiere. And, maybe I'm lost here, but I thought mid-season premieres, or premieres in general, were supposed to kind of super draw you in and get you, reattached. So you're like, man, I gotta see where this season ends out. But can I just say that this was a lackluster premiere in my eyes. In my opinion, I'm not sure if I was fully sold, but I'm going to talk some quick good, and I usually call it the bad and the mistakes. Tonight is going to be the good, and it wasn't necessarily bad, but it was just kind of like the meh. I'm like, I don't know if I really care. I mean, I'm supposed to be invested in your show. I want to care what's happening to these characters, but I'm just losing it. There's still some characters I still enjoy, and that's why I'm holding on, but we've had no deaths, it feels like, in such a long time, ever since Nick and Madison, so I'm just like, where are we at with this show? What is really happening? It's just this kind of like the plot armor. Everybody just does, we're going to try and do good and see what happens and see if people buy into it, because right now I think a lot of us are not buying into this. So let's get straight into it. Here we go. The good of what I thought was going on. I thought the recorded footage style was an interesting take on tonight's episode. It's never really been done, at least not like the way it was tonight, so I give them a little bit of kudos for giving it a different bit of style. It was a little annoying in the same sense, because I was just kind of like, I'm not sure if I'm really loving this style, but it was interesting, okay? Our group is continuing to help others. They're pressing forward no matter what, and they're going to see if they can continue to try and save people. And it seems like they're making a difference in the area. That's what the footage was showing. They keep showing all these quick clips of all of our survivors and kind of digging into their psyche a little bit, and some had a little bit more to say than others, and I kind of wish I heard more from others, but I guess there are people of few words, like Daniel, Dwight, and so forth. I think they spoke up a little bit more as the episode went on, but it was very, very small in general. John made an interesting comment, I thought, about how skills are like a currency in the apocalypse, and I fully agree with him. I thought that was a very cool way of wording it. I never really thought of it that way, but yeah, money is useless, and so are many other things, but goods and I guess like your overall skills, those are definitely huge commodities in the apocalypse. I thought it was a great comment. It appears Sarah and Wendell screwed over Logan with the fuel thing, so he was talking about, Logan came forward and said, yeah, we got to get to our fuel before my crew finds out. Sounds like that was BS, at least as we watch a little bit more of the episode. It looks like his crew were pretty much by his side, and I think it was just another ploy to try and screw over our friends. So they were smart enough not to take it, and instead they screwed him over. They took the fuel and they ran. So Sarah and Wendell, points for you for handed it back to Logan and his dick squad, as they call it. And Sarah seemed pretty proud of that one as well. John's pistol shooting to me is never getting old. I'm giving it a couple dings there, ding ding, because it's good times. I love seeing his shooting. I get that he's super skillful. Maybe it's a little over the top, but you know what? I buy into his character and saying that, no, these are his skills. And the trick shot was a little much in the first part of season 5, but these were better tonight. I was enjoying that when they're around the house that was all mined up. Okay, so we're gonna get to that in a minute too. So Tess, so the woman boarded up in the home that was mine. Let's get into it right now. In fact, so her son needs an inhaler. Apparently, there's her husband Ben. He's out there looking for this inhaler for her son, and again, I don't know if I really put this I kind of put it good as at the time, and then later on I'm just kind of like, and I'm not so sure. So I'm going to be adding some dings, I think, on the mess side too, because I'm just kind of like, I don't think it fully sold. They try to make it a decent part of the story, but again, I'm not really sure why we care about this woman and her son. They have no major importance or skills they're bringing to the table, and Ben even gets killed along the way. We don't see how it happens, but they find his body. So we're going to get back to that. John and Morgan's relationship, I call them the two silent heroes. Again, not a whole lot to say, but I agree with John. Kind of like, they're just kind of like we don't need to really say a whole lot. He has my back, I have his. We have that mutual understanding, and we move forward. I kind of like that. It's cool. The bro relationship, right? So I thought that was pretty neat. The minefield outside of the home was a nice touch, although very over the top. It was just kind of fun watching those zombies get exploded and imploded, whatever. Their parts just going all over the place. It was kind of cool. I'll give him a point for that. I have to say, towards the end of the episode, I almost started laughing aloud, because it's like everything they were putting together. It was like basically, it was a promo video. It was kind of like, so I felt like it was so funny. Like after the episode was done, an episode came on from, I think it was season 3, I don't want to get it wrong, but when they're on the ranch, and Otto, right, the ranch owner guy. So it showed his promo video about buy my End of the World tapes, and you'll get to know everything you need. I'll give you this bucket full of a Constitution and a compass and all this. It was a promo video, right? And that's what this felt like. And I was just kind of like, oh man, this is cheesy as hell. But I gave it a point because I'm just like, wow, that's. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I was like, okay, we're just gonna go with that. The mysterious guy at the end. Okay, so he's watching this promo video, I guess, to come full circle to show somebody's actually watching their stuff. And then he goes in, pretty much breaks the lock. So instead of taking what he needed or whatever, he decided to go a step further. He went in and disabled the generator, took the gasoline that he needed. So, I mean, technically they did say take what you need. And so he starts to fuel that up, or at least begins to, and he gets ambushed by Logan and his Dick Squad crew. That's what they seem to be calling him, so I'm going to go with it. And so these guys, they think that this dude is with our survivors. He's not. He kind of lets that known. Logan takes the fuel back, and then they end up shooting the hell out of his bike and basically saying don't let him follow. And at first, they just shot out a tire or two, and then he's just like, oh man, you didn't have to show the tire. And then they just they light this thing up. So it was kind of a fun scene, but poor for the guy. We got to see how this is going to work out. So he's going to call our survivors, it looks like, and try and meet up, but we don't know much about this guy. It'll be interesting to see what he's all about. So we'll go with that. So the meh, as I call it, because I'm just like, I'm not sure I really care so much, but I want to care. I talked about this in the first part of the season 5. Please help me to care more about your show and why I should be invested in your characters. But I'm not sure if we're getting there. So Alicia says she hasn't killed since she got off the plane. I call this folly. I mean, there is no way this can last. I mean, yeah, we've kind of seen certain things with The Walking Dead with Morgan, but it's kind of been done. So the idea that Alicia's going on this hiatus of killing because it's going to take her back to that bad place or something like that, you're going to have to kill Alicia. You can't expect everybody to pick up the slack. It's very annoying, and it's just, I'm not sure it makes much sense, and especially for Alicia. Like, I'm not buying into it. Although the mines were cool that were planted around the home, my idea was I heard maybe a possible 12 plus explosions. I mean, how many mines were around this home? And not to mention, there was no marked map of showing where the mines were. So are we to believe that Ben, the husband, just knew the layout by heart? There's a far stretch. Maybe he had some kind of map sketch and he knew where they were. Again, this is pretty thin, guys. Thin writing, especially for a show caliber of AMC's like The Walking Dead and Fear. I expected more, so I don't like it. Morgan running up into that damn minefield was just dumb. Just dumb. To kill one walker is I'm pretty sure that one walker getting up to the door isn't gonna do anything. So it was just basically throwing himself into a perilous situation that just really didn't need to happen. Poor. I don't like it. And again, do I have to love everything that happens in this show? No, but if we're just talking shop and just saying what do we really think about the episode, this is just, I think you all probably will agree with a lot of what I'm saying. It kind of felt forced. Like, do you really need to throw yourself into that serious of a situation? Was that necessary? Let me know in the comments if you thought it was. I think it was not. Let's see here. I said, and I understand it's because of the way this episode was filmed, but why was Luciana running in straight after John? I get John's dilemma and basically seeing Morgan on that mine. He has a connection with Morgan. I mean, we already heard that from the tapes, so I expect John to run in there. And so Luciana, knowing this field of mines they're all over the place, but let's just go ahead and run after John. She could have tripped a mine and killed them both. Killed all three of them. Hey, stupido, I know that camera has friggin' zoom on it. You could have filmed from afar. It's just it's silliness. It's like, what? Just to get her in the shot? They are undermining Luciana's character so bad and not making her fully useful. They need to do something with her ASAP, or I feel she's going to ask to peace out. It's just, I don't feel like she's doing much good. And I bet you that actress agrees with that as well. So I want to ask, did Morgan seriously ask Althea after he stepped on that mine, Al, you've had experience with these, right? And she did. She actually knew some basic knowledge on disarming mines. This woman's talents are endless. They know no bounds. And I'm sorry, that is annoying as all hell. I mean, you basically have a character with, well, let me see here. Who could possibly have any background in this? Let's get Althea. She knows how to do everything else too. She can climb, fix planes, she can pilot. Keep on going. I'm going to stop there because I don't even want to try and think of more. But they're all there. She has every skill known to man, pretty much. Or woman, for that matter. So I'm giving a ding for that. It's just, I'm just like, she's just like that catch-all. I don't like it. It's rough. I put, give me an effing break, and I mean that. Just give me a break. I get Tess, so the wife Tess, that was inside the home, so it seems she was under major duress. She hadn't been outside of the house in 2 years, they said, which I didn't get to hear until towards the end, so it put a little more context to her, maybe perhaps phobia of wanting to go outside. So I don't want to ding this too much. I'm going to... maybe I won't ding this one, because I guess if she had a phobia from going outside, then she truly would not have stepped outdoors. But knowing that they had an inhaler for your son, they were pretty much clearing out the surrounding of the walkers and whatnot that are coming up to your doorstep to kill you. I think you could come outside to defuse the bomb, but maybe it's a lot more than, it's easy for me to say. I mean, I wouldn't have that fear, but she did. She has the safety for her son to worry about. Her husband, she's just now learning that he could possibly be dead, and she doesn't want to give into it. Okay, maybe this is better writing than I thought, at least on this piece, and I shouldn't ding it. So we'll leave that one alone. Lastly, I want to say that I'm sure, but okay, so for Tessa's character, let's just talk about that. I'm not sure at the very end that I bought into her emotions. I just feel that if this is a man that clearly she loved, right, and he's been keeping them alive for a long, long time and doing everything for them, the fact that it's that evening and she's already on videotape, barely choked up, and just kind of like, thanks, I'm so glad we found there is hope out there. So I'm not sure if I'm buying into those emotions, guys. I mean, I feel she'd be a wreck. I'd be a wreck. Lost my wife like that, and vice versa for mine, too. I mean, if they had that true relationship, it could be argued that maybe they just didn't have that close relationship. Maybe she was mad that she couldn't go outside, and, she wanted more to life, and felt she wasn't living. I just think that's very thin. So, bing. So the mistakes. Now, this isn't a huge mistake, but it got me thinking here a little bit. And this is the last thing I want to mention on this. About a season ago, maybe almost a few extra episodes included, Morgan was hellbent on getting back to Rick and his friends. That was his new mission. That's what he wanted to do. But if you remember, he got derailed due to a crazy woman walking around, with her dead walkers and so forth, and also the whole truck stop stuffs. And it just kind of got him engulfed in all that madness. He also started gaining better relationships, I guess, with Alicia and Strand, Luciana, and all the other rest of the crew, Charlie. So I guess I get that part, but he hasn't even mentioned Rick or anybody else from his old life or crew. So I think that's a miss for the show. I think it should still be important that he acknowledges their existence and that maybe one day he might want to get back to them. But I don't know. I feel this show doesn't fully understand where it's going. It's just kind of like that catch-all of like, well, let's just come up with something and just let them get after it. Unlike The Walking Dead, where I feel it had more purpose and where it was going. Now, since we've lost Rick and now we're about to lose Michonne this season, that's no spoiler, it's all over the place this season. It's questionable where even The Walking Dead is probably going to be headed. Now, I was wondering how the last season was going to go, but Season 9 did actually impress in a lot of ways. So it's possible Season 10 may also come through unscathed. But we'll have to see how it goes, guys. I hope you enjoyed this session of just talking over this mid-season premiere. Again, this is Episode 9 of Season 5, and it was called Channel 4. So it's interesting. This show's getting hokey. At least the fear part is. It's getting hokey. I'm not sure how much longer the strength of the show is going to hold and endure. I know it's been greenlit for a season 6, so clearly they're going to get into that, but I hope they have a strong story prepared, because right now, I will admit that it looks like some future episodes coming up are going to get intense, it appears, but we'll have to see what Logan's crew, let's see how badass they are and how much of a threat they pose to the crew. And as always, it's time for a score for tonight's episode, so I was going back and forth on this a little bit, but it didn't take me long because it was kind of a lackluster mid-season premiere. It didn't really fully engage us. I mean, sure, we understand that Logan's the threat, but we already knew this at the end of the first part of the season 5. So it wasn't that crazy of a concept to know that he was going to continue to be the antagonist, right? So I'm giving this one a 6.5. It was a better than average, but it wasn't great. And I'd say, I guess good, but maybe just a smidgen under, which again, if a 7 was a solid good, I guess 6.5, just under it. So with that said, this is the Z-Man Show. I am Mike, your host as always, and I will see you all at the next review. See ya.